When most people hear the words estate planning, their minds usually jump to complicated documents and, well, death. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if it's actually about love? Today, we're going to explore that idea, and we'll do it through one person's incredible journey. You'll see how planning isn't just about your stuff. It's about protecting the people you love more than anything.
So, to really get this idea of planning as an act of love, let's start with a single, really powerful question. It's a question that a Lexington based attorney named Pooja Aurora thinks about every single day, and it literally became the foundation for her entire law practice. Yeah, this is the question at the heart of it all. And for Pooja, it isn't theoretical. It comes directly from her life as a mother, raising her teenage son, Ishan, who has severe autism and will always need care. That worry, that constant nagging question, it's something so many parents get, and it's what pushed her to find answers, not just for her own family, but for everyone else's too. Because Ishan's needs were so complex, Pooja actually put her legal career on hold to be a stay-at-home parent. But later, once he was settled and thriving in a residential program, she took all of that focused energy and aimed it in a new direction. She went back to law school, specializing in estate planning, and she built My Special Legal Planning from the ground up to help other families who were asking that very same question. Okay, so this brings us to the big one, right? What even is estate planning? It sounds so formal and complicated, but really, at its core, it's just about having clear answers to a few really important questions about your life. And let's get one thing straight. This is for every adult, not just for the super wealthy. Here's the deal. If you don't make your own plan, the government has one for you. It's a one-size-fits-all set of rules that probably isn't what you'd want. A real plan simply puts you back in the driver's seat. And really, it all boils down to these three big questions. First, what happens if you get sick or hurt and can't make decisions? Second, what happens to all your stuff when you pass away? And third, and for so many people, this is the most important one of all, who takes care of your kids? A good plan answers all three in a way that's legally solid. So, how do you actually go about answering those questions? Well, the answers are found in a handful of key legal documents. Think of them as the tools of the trade. Let's quickly look at the 5 that make up the backbone of pretty much every plan. Here's the lineup. You've got your will, a trust, and then powers of attorney for your finances and your healthcare, and a living will. They all do important jobs, right? But for parents, the last will and testament is absolutely critical. Why? Because it is the only place you can legally name a guardian for your minor children. If you don't have one, a judge who has never met you or your kids will make that decision. Now, what's really fascinating is that most people, even with the best intentions, tend to make the same few mistakes. So let's just walk through them so you know exactly what to watch out for. The first one is by far the biggest one. It's the most common and honestly the most damaging because it just creates a vacuum of chaos at the worst possible time for your family. And that mistake is doing nothing at all. See, when you do nothing, you're not avoiding the decisions. You're just handing them over to a judge, a complete stranger, to sort out for your family when they are already grieving and overwhelmed. The other mistakes are just as easy to fall into, like using a cheap online form. I mean, your family isn't generic, so why would your plan be? Or creating a plan and then never touching it again after you have another kid or get a divorce. A huge one is setting up a trust but never actually moving your assets into it. That's like building a beautiful safe and leaving it empty. And finally, making a perfect plan but then hiding it so well no one can find it. So how do you avoid these pitfalls? Well, it pretty much all comes down to finding the right guide. You need someone who doesn't just draft documents, but who builds a real relationship with you, one that's based on trust. And this is where Pooja's own story really comes full circle. See, before she went back to law school, she was a client herself, getting a plan for Ishan. And the experience? It left her feeling confused, unclear, and honestly, a little unsettled. She decided right then and there that her practice would be the total opposite. A place where every single client feels heard, understood, and walks away with total clarity, feeling like they've been taken care of by family. So, does that personal, patient approach actually work? Well, the proof is right here in the numbers. Think about this. Since she started, more than 110 families in the greater Boston area have worked with her, and every single one of them has left a 5-star review. That's not just a number. That's a direct reflection of the trust she builds with every family. And if you read through those reviews, one word shows up again and again and again. It's patient. Clients constantly say how she takes the time to make a really complex emotional process feel simple and manageable. And that's because she gets it. She knows exactly what it feels like to be in their shoes. So, with all of this in mind, the question is, where do you even begin?
Well, the very first step is to just change how you think about this whole thing. This isn't some morbid task to put off forever. It's a proactive act of love. It's one of the most powerful things you can do for your family, and the absolute best time to do it is right now. And a great, easy first step is to just get your questions answered. My special legal planning actually offers a free initial consultation for exactly that reason. It's a totally no pressure, jargon free conversation where you can just understand your options and see what a real plan might look like for your family. So I'll leave you with this. Don't try to solve it all at once. Just think about this. What is the one conversation you can have this week? The one small step you can take to start protecting your family's future? Because that one little step, that's how it all begins.